Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. I thought I'd let you know that over the past few years, I've been trying to do a bunch of different things to push myself to grow. Basically just copying a bunch of YouTubers. And if you've been anywhere near the whole self-development part of YouTube, you've probably noticed a trend. Cold showers. Sounds like it sucks, but I tried it anyway and I can confirm that it does suck, but I've been taking them for about a year and I want to share with you today everything that I've learned that's helped me actually take cold showers. Stay tuned, that's what's happening next, let's go. So my first approach was to wear a jacket. I opted for this hooded waterproof jacket by North Face, but I guess any Gore-Tex or down jackets probably work just as well. If you don't want to do that, you could also just stack on a few sweatshirts. I suggest you try this at home, but you realize very quickly, as I did, that this is way worse than just hopping in naked. But it was a good reminder for me that this whole thing is kind of ridiculous, like it's just a shower. This is child's play. And this brings up a good question. Why are we so afraid of cold showers to begin with? There's nothing objectively evil about them. They have no opinion of us. They're not harmful. They don't cause lasting damage. They're just a thing that happens outside of us that makes our body feel a certain way. And yes, it's a shocking feeling, but to me, this feeling is not me. Like, I don't need to identify with it. All this negativity that I had towards a cold shower, all this fear, that's just my own judgments and perceptions that I'm pushing onto it. And it really doesn't deserve that because at the end of the day, it's literally just a shower. And that's really all it is. So if I was gonna make this happen, I needed to treat it like a game. It's basically the same as eating spicy food for no reason. Get myself laughing and smiling and having fun beforehand, make fun of myself for being such a baby. Why am I so scared? I think that's a great question to ask, not just about showers, but about pretty much anything in life that can be stressful, scary, or anxiety-inducing. Does it really deserve this negative emotional reaction, or is it just a game that we're playing with ourselves? Is it all artificial? I find that for a lot of things in my life, it really doesn't matter which category it's actually in. There's no way to know. But if I treat it like it's in this latter category and I make a game out of it, I'm more willing to commit to it 100%, and I don't block myself as much with any of these artificial fears or unnecessary emotions. So the next step was actually the hardest part for me, and that was just getting under the cold water. I tried so many different approaches, techniques, methods. Turns out the most effective one is f*** it. You know, I try to get as much of my body wet as fast as possible, especially my head, my back, and my feet. I really thought that this was going to suck, and it really did. Every single time it always sucked. But the part that sucked the most actually wasn't being under the cold water. The part that sucked the most was my internal resistance to being in the cold. This period of time when my body was still adjusting to the new temperature. And if I dragged this out, it really didn't help me that much. I used to try the approach where I would step into hot water at first and then slowly turn down the temperature as the shower went on. This was the most comfortable way to do it, but I found it pretty useless in the long run because it never trained me to get over that flinch. The point of this isn't to take a cold shower. The point of this is to build a life skill, because sometimes life throws pain, struggles, challenges at us without warning, and sometimes we gotta be ready to lean into the flinch and just act on a moment's notice. And if you can start practicing that with something as harmless as a cold shower, you're basically learning how to be a hero. You know what else really helps with cold showers? Breathing. This is all just meditation. Once I'm under the cold water, I immediately focus on my breath. I'm not trying to force deep breaths. I'm trying to take normal, relaxed ones. It's kind of like an exercise, except instead of trying to build strength and power through, I'm trying to go in the other direction. I'm trying to stay relaxed and still. I find that when I focus on something like my breath, which I have control over, everything else just falls into the background. Like, I'm in here, the water, the cold, that's out there. I'm not trying to get in and out as fast as possible, not trying to avoid the cold. I'm trying to exist with it and be mindful of it, yet indifferent to it. I try to take at least 3 to 5 relaxed, normal breaths, and it usually takes me a few tries. But once I get that, I have to address my physical response to the cold. I use a technique called progressive muscle relaxation. It all starts with the breath, but I just close my eyes and I scan my body from head to toe. You know, start with the face. Am I scrunching up my eyebrows and freezing up my jaw? If so, I just tense them up on my own, and then I just let them go. And I just imagine I'm directing my breath to my face and then my shoulders. Am I just shrugging them up without even noticing? If so, I just tense up and then let them go. I just breathe into my shoulders. I know this sounds kind of ridiculous, but if you just imagine yourself directing the flow of your breath into the different parts of your body one by one, you'll find that you're actually able to relax them very deliberately, and this whole cold shower doesn't need to feel as bad as you think it should. If you can make a game out of it and get yourself laughing, and then control your breath, and then use some focus and relax your entire body from head to toe, that's pretty much it. I really don't know what else you need to do. I guess shampoo, conditioner, body wash. But technique aside, I actually made myself want to take cold showers over the past year, and I want to explain how and then why. Well, it's basically the same steps that I talk about in almost all of my videos. Pick a specific reason why, plan out a routine, execute it, and then celebrate every little reward you can get. So what was my original reason for taking cold showers? Well, I have a skin disorder called eczema, and cold water dries out my skin a lot less than hot water does. Is that the most important thing in the world to me? Is that the meaning of life? Absolutely not, but it's enough for me to convince myself that I want to stick with this long enough for it to become a habit. What's my routine? Well, it's everything I talked about in this video. And then finally, what do I get out of cold showers? Well, you can just Google cold shower benefits and take your pick. There's a lot of things. It improves my focus, gives me a lot of energy, immune system and health stuff, but really it's just fun and it's uncomfortable, and that's the most important part. Because if we take a step back and we look at the big picture, a lot of us here honestly live privileged lives, at least to some extent. I'll admit that I do. And as we strive to do well for ourselves, we can often pull ourselves farther and farther away from discomfort and towards comfort. And we gotta agree that happiness, stress, or satisfaction with life, that is all relative to our comfort zones. But some of the most important moments of our lives rely on the way that we respond to discomfort. We don't want to lose touch with that. It's the same fight or flight response that has basically determined the fate of individuals since the beginning of humanity. And if you can do just one small simple thing starting today to experience it, understand it, and train it, you become one step closer to having full control of your life, and all you had to do is take a shower. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button and then tap the notification bell so that YouTube lets you know whenever I post any new content. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.